Hello everyone, Shroomraver here, and today I am finally excited to be bringing you my Week 5 battle from Division 1, Season 3 of the Pokemon Premier League. Yes, indeed. Now, as you know, we're not doing so well this season. Sitting at 1 and 3, and we have to face off against Travistey, the promoted, one of the promoted guys, North Melbourne Kangaskhans. He's having a good season, you know. He's sitting at 3 and 1, and he's got what I think is one of the best squads going. Yeah, so I've got to say first before we get into it, so sorry that this is ridiculously late again. There is actually a whole host of reasons that combined to make this as late as it is, and hopefully I'll go into them at the end of the video, and you'll see why I go into it at the end of the video when I do. But yeah, we face off against Trav, must-win stuff. As you can see on my screen, I have Crocodile, Weezing, Mega-Scizor, Latias, Jellicent, and Armaldo. Now, if you want to see a proper in-depth sort of discussion about the team that I built, the spreads, the moves, and why I brought them and my mindset going into this game, head down into the description. You'll find a link to my team building analysis video, so you can catch that there for all the details. Of course, also links in the description to Trav, my man Trav, my opponent. Make sure you go and check him out. He's a lovely guy. He's a very good battler. He's got a spooky, scary team. Also links, of course, to the PPL Twitter and YouTube. You'll also find links to Titos, of course. I keep forgetting to mention Titos, former PPL competitor in Season 1. He's done all the thumbnails, all the sort of thumbnail templates for this season. I keep forgetting to mention him, but check him out. He's incredibly talented. So do that. Yeah, do that. Anyway, on to this battle. So, you'll notice it's on Showdown as well. You know, as you know, I'm absolutely swamped right now. I have a lot going on. So I didn't get time to have my team gen. We had to go on Showdown, unfortunately. I apologise for that. That one's on me. But we got Trav. The team he has brought is as follows: Emboar, Excadrill, Thunderous Incarnate, Mega Ordino, Quillfish, and Tyranitar. This is spooky. It's very spooky. Emboar does not have switch-ins. I was surprised to see it, because I thought I might have enough to sort of dissuade him from bringing it. Quillfish I was surprised to see as well. I have a lot of prominent defoggers. I brought one of them with me. So it'll be important to keep that around, you know, if I can. So, yeah, all the rest kind of expected to see those for no regen core, which was a surprise. And if I'm honest, not a pleasant one. I was looking forward to seeing at least one of them, because I was fairly confident I could deal with them. But I didn't see them, so that was unfortunate. It's kind of making me thinking that you've got a very standard sort of 3-3 split of offense and defense on his side. Those first three are going to be very powerfully offensive, and the other three, Mega Ordino, Quillfish, and Titos, very good defensive synergy, and, you know, they can put the hurt defensively. So, this was always going to be a tough one. But it's must-win stuff, you know this. So, without further ado, let's get right into the battle and see how things played out. So, I'm going to make the lead up going with Weezing, as Trav is going to go with Thunderous. Now, I don't like this matchup one bit. I may have an Assault Vest, but I don't want to take a Psychic. So I'm just going to go into my Latias, who is a nice switch into this guy, as Trav does in fact reveal the Psychic. So that's fine. I can tank that all day, every day. Now here, he goes for U-turn, so he's mixed. I was actually just expecting him to hard switch into Titos. So I click my hidden power, which is fighting. He pulls the switch with U-turn into Titos. We can absolutely nail this guy on the switch with the hidden power fighting, and he's got a Chople Berry, which is terrible because now I can't switch out. I'm fearing the pursuit so much that I just feel like I can't switch out. I have to go for it again. So I do. It doesn't do enough. It just doesn't do enough. And Trav is going to make a very good play here. He's going to go for Stealth Rock, which means I'm going to go down to residual damage, and that is my defogger gone. So now Quillfish is suddenly looking like a big issue. Now, here, turn 4. I'm going to bring in Armaldo, and I'm going to pause it, because what you're about to see, ladies and gentlemen, is a huge, enormous moment in this game. Turn 4. Big things are about to happen. So I'm going to let it play on just for a little bit. I go for Stone Edge, and I miss. Titar is going to go for the Rock Slide, and that is going to take down my Armaldo. Turn 4. Now, I'm going to preface all that I'm about to say by saying that in no way, shape or form do I blame Trav for what happened. Not at all. We've been playing this game long enough, you know, all of us. We know that neither of us can control when someone misses a move. Obviously, unless you're running Bright Powder, but that's bad. So I don't blame Trav at all for what happened. You also probably know that I don't tend to get very salty. I try not to at the very least. But at this moment, turn 4, when I missed that Rock Slide, I lost my shit. I went mental. I absolutely lost it. Because in my mind, turn 4, I have now lost this game. And when I've done this kind of thing before and I've lost them onto hacks, I try not to have that mindset. I try not to have the mindset of, I've lost this game. But at this point, in my mind, I've lost. I'm done. I was so done with this game. If this had been a showdown game on the ladder where nothing mattered, click the X in the corner, right here, right now, find another game. That is what I would have done. Obviously, we don't forfeit in this league. That will result in a 6-0 loss. And I'm going to play the game through, but at this point, I had lost all interest in the game. And I apologise to Trav for that, because from this moment on, I start playing on tilt, and I probably didn't give Trav the best game that I could have. So I apologise to him for that, but I was so unbelievably done. Because it's not the first time this season, it's not even the second or third time that I've been hacked quite badly. And, you know, I could have taken this thing out with any move. And I'm sure there will be people who say, and people have said, I'm not going to mention any names, but people have said, not mentioning any names, you know, like, you should have gone for another move. Not mentioning any names, for anyone who might have said that. And yeah, people will probably say in the future, oh, that was the wrong choice, you shouldn't have gone for that move. No, you're wrong. Let me tell you why. At this point in the season, I'm 1-3, Trav is 3-1. At this point, I just need to win games. Differential is so much more important to Trav than it is to me, because he's pushing to win the whole thing. I just need to survive. I just need wins. He needs differential far more than I do. So for me, going for like an X's or an Earthquake was probably the play, or maybe a fighting type move. For me, his switch was Thunderous, and Thunderous is basically all that's standing in the way of some of my sweepers. So for me, Stone Edge was the play. I can't afford to give him a free switch into Thunderous if he wants to save this guy for differential, because I don't have switch into Thunderous anymore. You know, my Latias is gone. Added on to the fact that I hadn't seen his Excadrill yet, so I didn't know if he was running Sand Rush. He might have been. He might have wanted to maintain Sand for a bit later on in the game. I think Excadrill gets Smackdown. He could have easily been running a Smackdown Life Orb set with Earthquake for the Weezing. You know, I've come across that already this season, in the form of Alex's Marowak. So, yes, I think Stone Edge was the right play to go for there. It was high risk, high reward. I obviously didn't get rewarded for it. But at this point, I shut down my calcs, I kicked back, I turned on some music, and I started playing on tilt. I was still trying, I guess, to save some face, but we're going to get back into the game. I've rambled on about that turn for long enough. So, down goes Armaldo. I finally, a turn too late, I'm going to bring in my Mega-Scizor, and realising that he is just sacking off his Titar. I have some speed investment, I don't think that he does. So I'm just going to go for the Bug Bite here and take out the Tyranitar. So down goes Titar, a turn later than it should have done. But now I've real uphill struggle. In comes Thunderous. I know this thing gets Incinerate. I have no interest in taking an Incinerate. So I'm just going to go into Weezing, who is Assault Vest and should be able to take it. And as you can see, it's exactly what he does. He does go for the Incinerate. And here I kind of just stay in, because I figure he knows I know Psychic, so I could have gone into Crocodile there, and I thought that's what he'd predict me to do again. But I don't, I stay in and take a U-turn, and I predict Excadrill to come in here. And he does, which is fantastic. He shows Mold Breaker as I expected, and I go for the Fire Blast, and I nail this thing on the switch, but of course it is Assault Vest. Of course it's Assault Vest, and I don't have a switch until my Mold Breaker Earthquake. So, yeah, Weezing has to go down. That's unfortunate. Yeah, down goes Weezing. It's 5-3. I have nothing for this. I go into my Mega-Scizor trying to bluff the fact that I have superpower. But he has a perfect switch into this. Qwilfish absolutely shuts down any form of Mega-Scizor. I do predict a switch out, and I do go for the baton pass here, as you're going to see. Which is fine, but I can't really pass that into Crocodile. I have to pass it into Jellicent, who's going to sort of sit in here, and I do switch out, because he's not going to go for a water-type attack. I'm going to go into my Crocodile, knowing that the Scald isn't coming my way. So a nice switch there on my part. He does go for the Taunt, which is fine. And here, I know he's going to switch out. He kind of has to. He doesn't really have a choice. He does go into Ordino, which is fine. You know, that's a very safe middle ground for him. I go for Earthquake. I can't take this thing out. I can't two-shot it for certain. And after the Mega with the defense boost, I probably can't three-shot. So I'm going to go into Mega-Scizor just to try and deal as much damage to this thing as possible. But he pulls a very, very nice double of his own. And he's going to go into Thunderous. Really good double on his part. So I'm going to switch the hell on out of there. I, again, don't want to take an Incinerate. This time I'm going to Jellicent. And he is, in fact, just going to go for the Incinerate, as I suspected. Sorry, I've got a really bad throat. My Colbur Berry's burnt up, which is unfortunate. And here I do predict the electric attack. This time I think he's going to go for Stab. So I try and get my free cheeky switch into Crocodile. But Trav is one step ahead. He's not playing ball. He's just going to U-turn the hell on out of there. And I take massive damage on Crook. And he is just going to go into the Ordino once again. I'm going to pull the switch. I kind of have to. He said in the chat, by the way, to feel when not regen. He forgot to put regen on this thing, which was vaguely entertaining. I pull a switch into Jellicent for no apparent reason because I can't touch this thing. And he's going to go for Trick Room, which was interesting. I wasn't quite expecting that. It does mean that I am he's faster, sorry. He's going to make an interesting play here. He's going to go for the Wish, as I get a crit burn Scald, you know, because why not? So he's gone for the Wish, and I can take him out on the next turn with a nice roll. But rather interestingly here, he goes for the Healing Wish, which I was not entirely expecting. I guess he was trying to heal himself up, but then he saw that I was going to 2-hit KO. So he went for the Healing Wish. I go for Recover here, which is quite nice. I was predicting his Protect. He goes into the Ember to get the Healing Wish back to full, which it was out already. But he can't really touch me at this point. He certainly probably can't kill me. So he's going to go into the Qwilfish. I am going to go for a Scald, I believe. Yeah, there it is. That's going to do very little to this Qwilfish. And this time around, I kind of predict him to over-predict, thinking that I might go into my Crocodile again. So I believe I stay in. I go for the Will-O-Wisp, and I do get it, which is nice. Land the Willow, get the burn onto this guy as he goes for the Toxic Spikes. And that's very much nail in the coffin. You know, my Defogger is long gone. These Toxic Spikes are there to stay. My Crocodile's at very low health. I can't stick around for too long. I am going to pull the switch, and I am going to go into my Mega-Scizor. I think I was probably trying to bluff having Defog on this. But he goes to Taunt, makes a very nice play there. I can't touch this Qwilfish. I'm very well aware of the fact that I can't. I believe he's outspeeding me here. He goes for the Scald. He does, of course, get the burn. I'm just staying in, trying to get some vague chip damage here where I can. I go for Bug Bite. You know, I know that his healer is gone. But, you know, I need to get rid of the Thunderous, really. But I have no way of tempting it in. So he's going to go for the Scald with the Qwilfish. He is, you know, just going to take me out there. Scizor goes down. Now I can't pass speed, which is irrelevant at this point. This game is long, long gone from me. So I'm going to bring in my Crocodile. I'm going to get poisoned, you know. And I am just going to go for Earthquake here. Not going to make any crazy predictions. He is going to let the Qwilfish go down. He has absolutely no reason to keep it around right now. So, at the very least, we're going to be able to keep this to a 3-0. But I'm choice locked. Trav knows this. So he's going to go into Thunderous. I have no reason to switch out here. I just stay in because Crook's dead on entry, I think. He's going to be able to take me out with an Incinerate for no other reason that he can. I guess he didn't want to go for U-turn because that would switch him back on out, and he doesn't want to go into anything else to take on Jellicent. Speaking of which, in comes Jellicent. It is my last Mon. Now I can take a hit from this guy. He reveals that he is Thunder Punch Thunderous. This is why I can take a hit, because I'm Fizz Def, which is interesting. I go for the Ice Beam. I can't 2-hit KO because I'm a Jellicent with no investment. And yeah, he's going to take me out with the next move, and that is pretty much going to be it. So in comes the Thunder Punch. down goes Jellison, and that is going to be the game. Not happy. And once again, I don't blame Trav for this. You know, we had an extensive talk afterwards about the entire situation. You know, Armaldo very much a win condition for me, and I maintain that going for Stone Edge when I did was the right play. You know, thinking that he might have switched out, he would have taken out the Tyranitar from there anyway. Yeah, going 6-4 down so early with a win condition and my defog gone was very, very disheartening, especially sort of the way that it happened. So I just kind of, at that point, I just started clicking buttons. I was so unbelievably, like, I was 17 levels of done at that point. I couldn't deal. I couldn't deal. But yeah, Trav, he built a good team. I still think I built a good team, you know? I still think I did. But the long and short of it is, we're 1-4. Trav is 4-1. He's having a great season. Fair play to him. He's played very well so far. So part of the reason that this video was so late was because I needed to distance myself from this game for a while. Like normally I'll try and record it as soon as possible afterwards, but this one I couldn't face it. I genuinely couldn't. I was just like, nope, leave it. Couldn't do it. So this is why it's so late. That and the fact that I have been busy, like, I distanced myself from the game thinking I'll just take a couple of days, turned into about 4 or 5 because subsequently I did then become very busy. But yeah, not a good game for me. Not at all. Nothing much more to be said about it. So yeah, I'm not going to say any more about it. That was week 5. We lose horribly again. And we're 1-4. So now, where do we go from here? With our backs firmly against the wall, it's all about survival. Next week, next week, games do not really come bigger than this. Next week, we play Shardy, one of my very good friends. He is such a fantastic person. No homo, I love him to bits. He's my greatest rival. He is the greatest rival I've ever known. He beat me season 1, I beat him season 2. Mainly due to hacks did I beat him in season 2. So that's not a good omen for how this season is going. But never before has such a massive game been so important. Like, even more so than last season, when it was to decide whether I won or not, I would still maintain that this next game is more important, because this is survival for me. I absolutely desperately need this win, but you know what, so does he, because he's pushing for first as well, and he's 1 game down on Sam, and he's got the same record as Trav. So, yeah, we both want this win desperately for very polarizingly different reasons. You are not going to want to miss it. You are not. It's such a huge game. Historically, this fixture has been very exciting. You don't want to miss this game. So, keep your eyes peeled for any and all content of that sort of matter coming up. Hopefully, next week we'll be back on track. I'll have to I'm still playing catch up, you know I am. But yeah, keep your eyes peeled for any and all content coming up. PPL, various other leagues, they're all going on. It's a good time, so, you know, just keep your eyes out. Links down in the description to Trav. Once again, make sure you check him out. He's a lovely guy, and I don't begrudge him this win. But yeah, make sure you check out his links, see his side of the battle, see the rest of his content. He's fantastic. Do it. But yeah, I'm pretty much going to get out of here. I've rambled on for far too long, so thank you very much for watching. I do hope that you enjoyed more than I did. Keep supporting Parasect Germain, guys. As Shardy said, we are going for the top of D2 next season. No, we're going to remain in D1, and next week is our stand. Next week is where we make our stand. We cannot afford to lose, and we won't. But I'm going to get out of here, so my final thank you to you all for watching. I guess with that, I'll see you next time. Laters.